Welcome to Postkiln Media Group. I'm Braxton Titan. This is JT Wilson. Today we're here with Miss Teel. She's the current principal at Reid, and we're glad to have us with us today.
So how long have you been a principal at Mary Reid?
So I'm completing my fifth year as the principal at Mary Reid School. So my first year was in 2020 when we came back from COVID. So I was the first principal after that. So I'm finishing up my fifth year there.
Were you an educator anywhere else besides Reid?
Yeah, well, my career started at Mary Reid. I was a first grade teacher there, and I did that for several years. And then I went on to be a third grade teacher. If you were third graders then, you may remember when third grade became a state test where you were either promoted to fourth grade or you stayed in third grade. And so I was asked that year to go and teach third grade. I did that for a couple of years, and then I went to a neighboring school in our district, Byhalia Elementary, and I was an instructional coach there, and then an assistant principal before coming back to Mary Reid.
So what made you choose to be a principal instead of staying in?
Yeah, so I think like early on in my teaching career, I just felt like I had an ability to lead, and I wanted to lead. I wanted to be able to make a positive difference on a larger group, not just, a set of 25 students that may be in your room. And so early on, I had a desire to be a leader. And I also had mentors in my life that really promoted that with me. And so 3 years after teaching, I knew that I wanted to go into administration. And so that's when I started my master's program.
Could you tell us about someone or something that inspired you to be a teacher or a principal?
Yeah, so several individuals in my life. I have relatives that are teachers. My mother-in-law is Vicki Teel, who taught math here for several years. She was a great inspiration to me. I had an aunt that was very influential in just the educational setting. And then I had positive teachers growing up as well, coaches that just impacted my life. So I had a desire early on to be a teacher.
I'm sure with being a principal, there are challenges. What are some of those challenges?
I think that if you would ask me every day, I would probably have a different response. But I think if I look at the big picture of being a principal, one of the biggest challenges is prioritizing my time. And just to expound on that, when someone comes to me with a need, be a teacher, a parent, a community member, a student even, they're coming to me with a need that is of utmost importance to them. And so I have to then prioritize my time and decide, is this a need that needs this amount of priority? Should it be top priority? Can I move it down the ladder and put something else in its place? So I think one of the most challenging things is prioritizing my time.
Despite your challenges, what are some of your favorite moments being a principal?
Oh my word, I love children. I love having fun with children. I love getting to know them. I love learning their names. Like at the beginning of the year, it's very important for me to learn their names because when I see them in the hallway, I want to be able to call them by name and say, hey, good morning, so-and-so. I'm so happy that you're here today. So I love getting to know our children. I love watching them learn and grow. In elementary school, you see a lot of learning and the progression of learning taking place. And so I love it when we are able to see students being successful.
Going away from your education, do you have any kids?
I do. I have two. I have two girls, Maggie Lynn, who is 17, and Millie, who is 16.
What impact do you think they have on your life?
Well, they make me be a better person on the daily, just, being teenagers as you are, you all have challenges yourself that you face. And so sometimes I have to take the educational lens off and put on the parent lens and know that, I have to make decisions that help them as well. And some of the things that they go through and they struggle with, I think help me lead children better and also lead teachers better. So they have impacted me greatly. I think I would say just in my day-to-day activities.
Going on what you said, how do you balance being a mom and a principal? What
Yeah, I think that can be really difficult sometimes, especially when you think about like all the extracurricular events that y'all have, especially if you're involved in school, right? You have a sports practice or something else. And so I think that it's just about prioritizing time. And for me, it's also knowing that when I'm at home, I have to turn off the email. I have to turn off, my cell phone and know that I have to be present for my family. And so sometimes that can be challenging and sometimes they intermingle. But I think if you have that intention to, hey, family time is family time, prioritize that, then you do have a little bit of a better job with it.
So how would you say you maintain your composure being a principal?
Well, I would hope that I do that often. But, sometimes you really have to just take a deep breath and not react too quickly, not speak too quickly, not make too quick of a reaction with your face, because sometimes our face can tell a whole lot more than our mouth does. But I would say that's something that I have to work at daily, because it's not always easy when you're presented with a challenge. And so I think the first thing to do is just take a deep breath and gather your thoughts, gather your reactions, and then proceed from there.
In your time of being at Mary Reid, what way has the school changed or progressed that you have saw?
Yeah, so like when I just think about the last 15 years being there, specifically the last 5 years, our enrollment has increased tremendously. We have probably 100 more students on our campus now than we did 3 years ago, which is significant. We've just built a brand new building back there, and so we have a huge media center, a huge library, 4 new classrooms. Fourth grade was moved back over there, and that's been such a tremendous asset. Um, we've been recognized as a PBIS model school. We set out to do that 2 years ago. That was a goal of ours. And so we were able to achieve that, which is a really big deal, because that means schools from all over our region will come to see how we have positive behavior and support interventions for our boys and girls. So a lot's really changed. That's just to name a couple, but I think that it's really increased both academically as well as some of those other things that I just mentioned.
You mentioned some goals. What are some more goals on top of what you said that you have?
Yeah, so we really want to increase our letter grade. And so last year, according to our accountability model, we are a grade C. And our goal is to be a B and then ultimately an A, but, using the stepping stones there. So that's definitely some goals. I think some other goals is to provide more extracurricular opportunities for our students, because they're very limited at Mary Reid. And so we would love in the future to be able to provide just some more opportunities, some more exposure to different things for our students.
Do you have any idea what those extracurricular activities could be?
Well, like to give you an example, we have 3 activity periods at Mary Reid: PE, the library, and computer. And this year in the library, we started incorporating music into that. And so just opportunities like that to have some cultural diversity, some fine arts in there, just expose children to more than just what we have in our community. So we loved being able to incorporate music into that. We have some aspirations of maybe adding a STEM activity next year, and so some of that robotics and that coding and things like that would just provide some other experiences and some opportunities for students to discover and explore different things.
Wrapping up, what was some advice that you would give anybody who's looking to become an educator like yourself?
I would say absolutely do it. Like if you want to have a career where you know that you are making a difference, do it. Absolutely do it. If I could give some advice to anybody who is maybe early even in their educational career, our district right now has National Board Certification for Teachers, and that's an instant $9,000 pay raise. And so if you want to make a difference in your community, if you want to make a difference in your county, if you want to make a difference in the world in general, the field of education is the way to do it. And there is money to be made in that. Lots of perks and lots of benefits, but absolutely pure enjoyment in coming to work every day. There's a lot of gratification in this job. So if you're thinking about that, just do it. Just do it. Be an educator.
Well, I think that's all we have for today. Thank you for joining
Yes,
us.
thank y'all so much for your time. I appreciate that.
Make sure you like and subscribe so you're not missing out on the next video.